Drake is back. I mean, there's no introduction to Drake. However you want to go, Champagne Poppy, Six God, Drizzy, Wheelchair Jimmy, Aubrey Graham, Mr. OVO, biggest artist in the world. I'll say it right now, better than Taylor Swift. And he's back again for another album after the curveball that he gave us in Honestly Nevermind, which I believe was an overhead album, but I can get to that later. This time he actually enlists someone else in the rap industry with 21 Savage. Usually an Atlanta artist who's known for his grimy kind of dark rap, trap artist that has kind of like more over the years turned into a rapper. And yeah, they dropped a track album, I believe about hour long, and I think it was good. It kind of felt more like a Drake album, more than a collab album, which I believe is the main issue of the project. It seems like he just brought 21 Savage on the album just so he could call it a collab album, but Drake is on the 70% of the songs. I also think he brought 21 Savage on the album to kind of turn himself into a supervillain for some reason, because 21 Savage is more grimy and dark. He kind of used his flows and his raps to kind of just transition from a lover boy, which he's been on Honestly Nevermind, and Certified Lover Boy, into more like a rap megastar supervillain. One of my biggest thoughts going into this album was, would Drake mature from his past works? And the big answer to that was no. He did not mature at all. I mean, this is probably his most immature album. He just has so many disses from Kanye West, known as Ye, Serena Williams' husband, boyfriends who buy their girlfriends' party buses and take them to hibachi, which I believe was disrespectful. He even dissed the big one, Megan Thee Stallion, and Dram, and he just dissed a whole bunch of people, which I believe was just unnecessary, because he just wants to be the supervillain now. I don't know why, but I still think the lyrical content was good. There's a lot of corny lyrics in this. One that I liked was Iran-ish, you thought I was Iranian, which I believe was just so corny, but it definitely added the fun element that was this album, and it's a fun listen. It feels more like a Drake album that we're used to compared to his stuff that is Honestly Nevermind and Certified Lover Boy. But I just don't think there's enough 21 Savage on it. There's a lot of good songs in here. The most viral one right now is Rich Flex, where Drake asked 21 Savage to do various tags for him in a certain voice that I will not repeat on air. But it's very well, it's very catchy, and it's the #2 song in the world right now, in the country. And my favorite song right now is actually probably I can't say the song on air, but "And Millions" featuring Travis Scott. I think Travis Scott delivers a great verse on this record, a verse that he is definitely his style, that goes towards his style. And yeah, I think 21 Savage is a good mixture for Drake's style and what he likes to do. Drake also tries 21 Savage sound on this, more grimy and dark, and it does work out. But 21 Savage doesn't really try Drake's style on this album. There was one song, Hours in Silence, where 21 Savage is singing, and it didn't really work well. I like the song, but when you have Drake on your song, you'd rather have him singing than 21 Savage. And I think that was just a constant theme in this album, was this more Drake featuring 21, not Drake and 21. And it's definitely an experience, but I think it'll get lost into Drake discography just because it's his second album of 2022. He's becoming more and more saturated within the market, and I think I would have wished that he actually went more of a different route, like he did Honestly Nevermind, because it was different. A lot of people didn't like that album, but I think it definitely added new flavor. And I think with Her Loss, it's more of a Drake that we're used to hearing, which went well. It's the #1 album in the country right now, but it didn't really add anything to his character, to his progression. The lyrical content was good. There's no really storytelling on this album. It's more of Drake telling us that we're broke in sophisticated ways, which I enjoy listening to. And 21 Savage just telling us different ways how he'll be a sub or, stuff like that. And it's a very fun listen, and I enjoyed it a lot, and I think it will be known as one of the better albums of this year, but it just won't be in the top of Drake's discography. That was my Cozy Corner, and I thank you for having me.